and good afternoon. Welcome to Open Studios DSTV channel 263. My name is Pimelo Mhlanga, aka the P Master, and of course it's going to be a super exciting conversation today. We are moving towards the festive season and it's all about financial planning. A lot of people got bonuses. You know, we are prepared to spend the savings we've been making throughout the year, and here to chat more to us about financial planning and ensuring that you spend your money effectively throughout the festive season is Sylvia Walker. She is an author and she also does facilitate workshops in the fields of financial planning, and I'd like to believe I got that right. Good afternoon, welcome to Open Studios.
Thank you so much, thanks for having me.
Well, starting off, I would like you actually to introduce yourself to our viewers and tell them, give them a little bit of background about the work that you do in financial planning.
I do a number of things all centered around money. So I've been in the business a very long time. I do really three things in essence. I write, so I've written some books. I do workshops, I share information, workshops on various aspects of financial planning and money management. And then I also offer my services as a financial planner. So I work with my clients to work out their financial plans, help them with their investments and so on. So it all centers around money, but it's communicating, demystifying, explaining, because I think there's a lot of lack of knowledge, a lot of secrecy, a lot of misunderstanding and jargon when it comes to money. So that's my passion, is actually explaining and demystifying, explaining things in simple terms.
All right, now talking about, you know, your field, like you've been in the field for over like 20 years in the industry. What is it that actually keeps you going? Because, you know, we find a lot of people out there who are actually not very much passionate about the work that they do, but you managed to stay this long in the field of financial planning. You know, that is a very long period of time. What is the motivation behind that?
I worked for many years as a marketing manager in a big financial company, and I left about 3 years ago. But while I was in that role and in that job, I used to do a lot of workshops and a lot of interactions, communication, writing articles, working with the media. And over the years, that ignited a passion in me to actually share what I know with people and make a difference in their lives. And for me, I think that's the thing that keeps me going in this industry, is I know how important money is. It's not everything in life, obviously, it's all about balance. But money, it's important to work properly with your money and understand how you can grow your money. And that's really what keeps me going, is being able to share with people what I know and make a difference in their lives. That's what I enjoy doing, I love it.
All right, now when you decided to leave in the race, you know, I don't know, when you decided to leave the corporate world and now get into publication, into online publications and now focus on your work, like wasn't that a little bit like scary? You know, because you know it's not an easy thing to actually decide that I'm leaving the corporate world and I'm now going to be following my passion and doing my things. Did you have a plan in place?
No, I didn't actually. I left in a great hurry. I've had once or twice in my life I've had sort of light bulb moments, and this was one of them. I'd been there for a long time, and I think you suddenly reach the point where you think it's time to jump, because I went straight out of varsity into a corporate and was in that comfort, but it's comfort and it's a confine at the same time, because it's very restrictive in terms of, you know, what you can do and cannot do. So I made the decision fairly fast, not always ideal, but yes, I decided to jump and to jump into the outside world, and I've learned a huge amount in the sort of 3 years that I've been out, if I say, in the outside world, but never look back, no. And I think there's a time in one's life, you do what you need to do at certain times, and then there's time for change. And that was a good time for change in my life. And and when I did leave, then I decided to become a financial advisor, which of course I wasn't before. I had started writing a number of books while I was actually still working full-time. So I just continued building on that, and then, as I say, I became a financial advisor. So I just extended really what I knew and what I could do. I just took it a step further.
All right. Now, tell us about some of the services that you actually do within your field of work as a financial advisor, now that you are doing your own thing. Like some of those workshops, is that like, apart from, because I'd like to believe you do some financial advising on radio as well. I've seen that. What are some of the other services
I am on,
that you provide?
can I mention the radio station? Cape Talk every Friday morning. So I've been doing this stint on Cape Talk with Abungile and Zelenzele every Friday morning. It's very early, about 5:15 in the morning. Started out about just over a year ago, so that's great fun. So I do that every Friday. We talk about different aspects of money management, really, all kinds of things, including debt and all kinds of things. And then I do workshops. I go into companies and I do financial education workshops to the staff. again, teaching people about their money and how to work with their money. How do investments work? Debt, we talk a lot about debt, because that's a huge issue in South Africa. How does money form part of your life? What is your money personality?
Yeah.
So a lot of that information I share in workshops in companies. And then I also do talks at events, at seminars, and very often to women, because that's obviously something that's close to my heart.
Yeah.
But again, empowering people around their money and empowering them to make the right decisions.
To make the right decisions financially.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, now I see, what you're currently doing here. Like, it requires, especially the one you're doing on Cape Talk, it requires people to be early. They say the early bait catches the fish as well. Yeah. Yes. All right, now tell us a little bit more about some of your works. There's an interesting book that you actually published in 2010 about... let me see, what drives a woman to actually
kill her child.
Their children.
Yes.
Like that is a very interesting one. Tell us a little bit more about some of them.
So that was actually the first book that I wrote, and that was about Ellen Pakkies, who murdered her son. So her son was a tick addict. He was 19. She's from Lavender Hill. 19 years old, and she just reached the point where she actually strangled him. So I met this woman, and I was very interested in because I'm a woman and a mother, we nurture and we take care of. So I was very interested to find out, why would a woman actually turn that on its head and murder her child. So that was a very interesting exercise, because I actually looked at the whole issue of tick, of gangsterism, of the whole sort of the sort of subculture that exists in Cape Town and in the Western Cape, and the industry that exists. I mean, there's a huge, a lot of money that's made, and so it delved into a lot of different aspects. Also, how the people ended up in the Cape Flats with the forced removals with apartheid, how that gave rise to terrible community issues, and then a drug like tick, which has taken, of course, a terrible toll on people. So it was it was my first book. I learned a lot of lessons, but very interesting.
Yeah, true that. Like, I'd like to believe, like, as you mentioned in the book as well, like, it is a very, very serious problem that you find being faced in communities, and that is a very tragic incident, and for the fact that you actually put that in the book. Like, it's a very interesting book, but we're going to be continuing right here on Open Studio to talk more about financial planning. We're going to the festive season. When we come back from the break now, we're going to be talking about the festive season, and ensuring that you save as much as possible. Stay right here with us. Open Studios, DSTV, channel 263.